going on? Welcome back. So, the legend, the king of the weird, the gothic, the undead, and all things bizarre, Tim Burton has officially had it with Disney. And, while this isn't exactly an earth-shattering story, I'll never hesitate at the opportunity to express my disdain for Disney. As you'll see in this interview, he throws some shade at Disney, the company, that no longer cares about anything outside of warping children and telling straight men what awful pieces of crap they are with their woke messaging and pounding Star Wars and Marvel's names into the dirt. So let's get into it right now. Tim Burton addresses surreal UK politics, Beetlejuice 2, and why Dumbo will likely be his last film with Disney. Dumbo? Oh my god, I completely forgot that was a Tim Burton movie. I never watched it myself because all I knew was that it did atrociously in the box office and that it was an absolute, piece of crap that removed the two best parts of the original movie. The crows and the scene where Dumbo gets shit-faced. And yes, the crows were perfectly fine. Only the wokies saw them as racist. They were funny and smart. They were the ones who helped Dumbo realize he could fly. They were essential to the original movie. But anyway, whatever. I digress. So, Tim Burton talks about a bunch of other stuff in this interview, but I just want to focus on the part where he discusses Disney. So, here we go. The filmmaker also talked about his long relationship with Disney, where he began his career as a young animation artist. He suggested that while occasional, under-the-radar individual projects might find a place at the studio, it was now mainly focused on Marvel, Pixar, and Star Wars franchises. Alright. I just gotta say, they're not just focused on them, but they're determined to absolutely destroy everything that made those properties adored to begin with. Not so much Pixar. How did we get to the point that people are so bored and checked out on Star Wars that the interest in their new premiere show, Andor, is in the absolute toilet? By constantly pumping out either trash that shits all over well-established and loved characters, or absolutely boring tripe where nothing ever exciting or interesting happens. Then we're supposed to get amped up and heap praise when one episode is slightly more interesting than the 5 snooze fests in a row before it? Not to mention all the bullshit that happens off camera where everyone involved in any of these projects are always shitting on the fans, because we aren't just mindlessly consuming their garbage and automatically giving them glowing reviews. And how did we get to the point where the MCU, the seemingly unstoppable juggernaut, with one interconnected saga spanning 10 years and 22 movies, that fans were constantly chomping at the bit to see the next big movie release, has become nothing but a woke wet fart with releases, like Thor: Love and Thunder, and without a doubt their absolute worst release to date. The sex-positive show for children, as per the Psycho director's own words, She-Hulk. Sorry, this stuff gets me worked up. I used to be a massive MCU fan up to Endgame. And who wasn't a Star Wars fan? It's gotten to be very homogenized, very consolidated. There's less room for different types of things, he said, adding he would never do a Marvel movie. I can only deal with one universe. I can't deal with a multi-universe. Okay. Yeah, and for that matter, neither can Disney. I can't even begin to go into what an absolutely convoluted and idiotic mess that Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness was. I still can't believe that the great Sam Raimi, directed that pile. Generally, when a film's previous director leaves, during production on a huge film, such as that, over creative differences, that's a pretty big red flag that the film is probably more trouble than it's worth. Sam's reputation is more important than the no doubt, fat paycheck he received on it. I still love Raimi, though, even with that turd in his filmography. I can rip into that movie all day, but the great Mauler did the best teardown, review of Multiverse of Madness that I've ever seen. It isn't even close, and no one should even bother. It is the absolute pinnacle. So I'd really just recommend you go to his channel and watch his 6-hour video on it if you've never heard of it. Sorry, I'm getting really off topic here. Let's get back into this. Burton said it was unlikely he would be returning to work with Disney anytime soon following his experiences on his 2019 live-action reboot of Dumbo. My history is that I started out there. I was hired and fired like several times throughout my career there. The thing about Dumbo is that's why I think my days with Disney are done. I realized that I was Dumbo, that I was working in this horrible big circus and I needed to escape. That movie is quite autobiographical at a certain level. Yeah, that's definitely a wise decision there, Tim. And it's, that's a really good description for what Disney is. A circus. A clown show. I mean, these idiots spent billions of dollars buying the absolute gold mines, that Star Wars and Marvel used to be. And instead of raking in the cash, and taking these two massive properties to new heights in storytelling, their primary concern was cramming in their woke agenda and attacking the fans for rightfully rejecting it. I mean, they can't even make money off of toys anymore. That's pathetic. Yeah, so anyway, I'm so done with Disney, Marvel, and Star Wars. It isn't even funny. But go ahead. Keep coming at us. Keep instigating us. All you do is continue to chase more fans away as we look, to independently made alternatives from people who will actually respect our time and money. Yeah, so wrapping up, that's about it. Sorry for going on a bit of a rant there and getting off topic, but I thought it was a good time to give my take by filling in the blanks, for Tim Burton on his reason for being done with Disney. So anyway, let me know what you think of all this in the comments down below. Please like this video if you did. Consider sharing it and subscribing. And I'll see you in the next one.